Okay, let's see how that sounds. Is that fine? Okay, let's see how that. Yep, levels and volume sounds all right. Hello again, and welcome back to, well, just this stream, just in general. It has definitely been a while, but I've finally gotten myself to get off my ass and get back to this. As you can see, if you have been to my stream before, I do look a little different compared to how I was. Compared to the look I had before, I am definitely rocking a new model that I drew myself. I've drawn this myself, and if I will remember to, after a stream, I will be posting the full body of this. There is a full body down all the way to the boots, but given the size limitations of this screen, I don't want to be too small, so I've made my model just a little cut down right above the knees. So this is what I'm going to be working with for the foreseeable future until I maybe decide to tweak things around or dedicate myself to drawing a more full, proper rigged model, or if I see fit to commission someone to make a proper model. That's probably the more likely option that's going to happen, since rigging and the specific kind of drawing that you need to do to get that sort of thing is obviously a little bit. It's better to get a professional sometimes. So I'm going to work on. One second, I'm just going to adjust some of these filters because I don't know how. I don't know exactly how. Threshold, is that what it is? I don't know. I actually don't really know. Well, hopefully this sounds good, and if it doesn't, then feel free to let me know either in the chat or later when I put this onto my YouTube channel. The YouTube channel right now is mainly for VODs. I don't really have any edited videos. I'm not a video editor. I will probably need to learn to do that at some point, but time being, the YouTube will still be remaining a VOD channel. But yeah, this PNG tuber model is what I'm going to be working with for now. It's this new one, and I'm actually gonna just zoom in a little bit, show off some of the. Whoops, that is not what I wanted to grab. Zoom in a little, show off some finer details. Just 1 second. Yes, just a bit more of a close-up. I'm not having the. Before I had the feather more closer to angelic sort of aesthetic, but I've actually kind of stepped away from that. I do still consider my persona to be of that kind of persuasion still, but I like allowing for a bit more creative freedom in how that is portrayed. As you can see, sort of with the arm and the leg, they are sort of galactic prosthetics is what I call them. I do not have prosthetics in real life. This is purely for the character that I am sort of portraying with this. I still have the horn that I will not hide is inspired by Karlach from Baldur's Gate. I also did give my character this little tattoo, which is inspired by Arcane, the League of Legends show. I do not play League of Legends. I used to, not anymore. Love the show. Got that put onto the model because I feel like it's just adding to the more me, less identity, kind of mixing them a little in different places. And then like denim, black jeans. And I, as you can probably see, is one of the bigger changes is I have a little ghost cat sitting on my shoulders. They were inspired by the actual cat that I had up until a few months back, a while ago. Well, no, I think it was a bit more than a few months. Time has been a little bit weird, but this is Sagwa. And yes, if you know the show, Sagwa the Siamese cat, they were named after them, even though he wasn't actually a Siamese cat. It was a pure black cat. But she unfortunately passed away a while ago, and so I wanted to add her to my sort of not necessarily identity, but just my presentation for this character, for this model. And I'll probably keep her around in other forms in the future, either as part of the model itself or maybe like a little VTuber pet that I've seen other VTubers have. And then also the sword that I haven't mentioned yet, the sword, because I just thought it would be cool to have a sword. And still sticking with the identity of being Lucifer. I believe that's the symbol for... No, it's not the symbol for sulfur, is it? It's been a while since I drew this. I think it's symbol for sulfur, or also black Leviathan, or Leviathan cross, something. It is a symbol that is associated with satanic stuff, so I decided to make it into a bit of a little sword shape. So that's that choice. And also, swords are fucking cool, so I wanted to give myself one. That's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to do. But yeah, this is the... Oh, right, I almost forgot. That I do also have the new expressions. Otherwise, it's so hard to zoom in with. Streamlabs, it just stops at the border. I'm not gonna make a comment about that. But I do have new expressions. They only really change my facial expression. I haven't changed really anything else about the model. I didn't want to bog down myself too much with changing too many things. But yeah, this is a base neutral paint, little smile, like neutral / happy. Then I also have angry, which adds a couple new features, such as bigger teeth, more prominent. The eye shifts itself to be a little bit more, a little less human, and also add that little sneer line, because that's realistic. Honestly, is that when you're sneering like that, you get that sort of connector line between the nose and the mouth. I think that turned out fairly well. And of course, we have the sad expression. Ears brown, brow shifting down, fairly normal. Then I have my surprised expression, which is just wide-eyed and just simple. Like the expressions are fairly simple, and I didn't want to go too crazy with redrawing like the face and shifting around like the jaw and all that. So kept it relatively simple, since I did most of my time on this was spent just drawing the actual model itself. But yeah, that's pretty much all of the stuff to really show about the new model. And I like how it turned out. I drew it a while ago, actually, and I just never got around to starting streaming again. So it's just kind of been sitting there waiting for God knows how long. I can actually check how, because my memory sucks, so I can actually go and check how long ago it was that I completed this. Yeah, in February. So completed this in February. I'd probably been drawing this for at least a week before that, so late January, early February for this. So yeah, it's been sitting for a while, but I just wasn't really able to force myself to get back on to doing this streaming stuff, because there was a bunch of different stuff going on that was like jobs and friends and schedules and other mental health stuff that I will not get into, because I don't want to start just trauma dumping. But what I will start doing is turning down the volume on this, well, turning it off more like, because I am getting back into art as well, because just like with the model, I kind of stopped drawing. I stopped pursuing that for a while. And like after I completed that, I really fell off on keeping up with practicing art and stuff like that. And I want to get back into that, because I have a lot of ideas in my head that I've been writing out and typing, but they're things that I want to make into comics or animatics, which is why my schedule that I posted on Twitter and Blue Sky, I'm still calling it Twitter, is a Deltarune comic that I'm working on, and Epic the Musical animatics that I want to work on. I have a, not in, I guess you could call it a Deltarune AU that I've called Delta Truce. It's essentially me giving the soul a bit more personality. It is admittedly a little bit self-inserty, though I am kind of making the soul in Deltarune making it more of a character within the universe rather than a player. I'm still in the writing of it, making certain things vague and mysterious, because we still don't have all the chapters for the game. So I want to try to work with the characterization while keeping it vague, and also planning for potential things in the future. I'm still working on the writing aspect, because with my ideas and stuff, I said that like I write them down first in like story / script type of format. And I'm almost done with the writing for chapter 4. I've finished chapter 3, almost finished the chapter 4 section, but I do want to make it a comic, and I tried to do that a while ago. I tried to do that before I got a drawing tablet, so I was actually just drawing on paper, and I was just taking pictures of the paper drawings and putting them up on Reddit. It got a little bit of attention, but after a few posts, I was like, I'm not happy with this, so I just kind of stopped doing it. But I want to get back into doing that, especially now that I have a drawing tablet and can actually make drawings of a better quality than what I was doing before on pen and paper, which was very stiff, very lacking in like flair detail. And that's what I want to do. I want to try to start doing that comic again, but with the digital drawings now, actual, like, I don't want to say flair, but with a bit more effort put into them and looking a lot cleaner for certain. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm not going to be working on the comic immediately. I actually want to start by just practicing drawing the characters, because I actually want to move a bit away from my typical drawing style, which what I usually do is I only do characters, and I rarely do backgrounds. I've barely ever done backgrounds. So, well, I want to do backgrounds for the comic. But what I do typically for my character drawings is I get a 3D model, and in like an app that I have, screenshot whatever the pose I want. After I've gotten the pose, screenshot that and put it into the I just completely blanked on the word. Not easel. Canvas. That's the word. Pretty much just screenshot the pose, paste it on the canvas, then trace over it to get the pose and work on the character from there. But for this comic, for the Deltarune comic, I actually want to move away from that and start just kind of freehand drawing characters and their poses, because I do want it to have a bit less of a realistic vibe to it, because the game itself, Deltarune, is very cartoonish, very unrealistic. So that's the kind of work I want to do, and the vibe I want to give off with the comic is to make it feel more like a comic and not just, well, make it look less like the model that I'm using now, which is a little ironic. For the Epic the Musical animatics that I'm doing, I will be probably doing something similar, but I will still be trying to move away from copy pasting a screenshot of a 3D model. I'll still be trying to move away from that, but I will still be trying to stick with a more realistic kind of look and design with the characters in the Epic the Musical stuff. It will still be my art style, but body proportions and stuff like that will still be a bit more realistic. But for this Deltarune stuff, I want to be a little bit more, not wild, I want to say, but a little less stuck within the typical anatomy. That's kind of what I wanted to work with, like make less details look like more details. Because like with just looking at my model and just looking at the hair is very much like leaning towards realistic, but I want, for example, the hair in the Deltarune comic to look less like that. Like a little bit more cartoony and frankly easier to replicate panel by panel. So yeah, I am doing it to make my job a little bit more easier, but also just to capture the vision that I have. So I wanted to start by just having this first stream back just be character drawing. Just working on getting the feel that I want for the different characters. And to sort of start with that, I was going to be just drawing the characters and getting the idea of how I'm going to be presenting them for the comic. And so I'm just going to start, and I'm actually going to put on a little bit of Deltarune music in the background just to add to that sort of vibe. I really hope that this isn't going to get me copyrighted. I'm trying to sort of... I'm going to hope that this is enough of a transformative use to sort of count for that. Turn it down to be a little bit quiet. Just something idle in the background. And I'm probably not going to be talking much. I've definitely got that habit of like just kind of quieting down when I focus into a task. I'll try to be looking up, looking at chat if there's anybody here, if anybody shows up. I'll be trying to reply to anything that I can see. I will attempt to be looking up and down, checking when I can, but for the most part, I'm just going to be in my little zone. And to start with this drawing stuff, I'm going to start with Chris, because why not start with the main character? Feels like the best place to start, really. And I'll always start with the best circle well, not the best circle I can, but a circle. Always start with that, always start with a circle. Whoops. I forgot to click the loop button. There we go. Now it'll just loop that one song. Maybe not that sharp. That was a little jagged. Do I want Chris to have a bit more of a jaw or not? Pointed or not? Not sure. I think this is why this is a practice stream. And it's just essentially just a character. Well, not necessarily concept art, but just helping me work on and decide how I want them to look. Yeah, I think I definitely want at least not completely rounded chin. That is definitely something I not want. Something sort of like Let's maybe actually zoom in a little bit. Give myself a little bit more room and for give all of you a little bit more to see. make sure you guys have something to even look at. Instead of just like this tiny little thing just sitting in the center of sitting dead center of the screen from so far away. Some maybe smaller shoulders. Struggling to find that balance with this. We'll just keep it like that for now. Just work with that. Normally I would actually go with the face details, but I think I'm actually going to start with hair. Because Chris notoriously has their hair in front of their face. I kind of want to have like sectional look to the hair. Sort of have it be like different pieces. Don't really know how to properly explain the feeling that I want to convey, but essentially like kind of something like this, where it's like each area is its own kind of section. I'm unsure if I want to be drawing each of the sections out like this yet. It does look kind of good. I kind of like how it illustrates that. I might decide to go with that. Not for now. I'll just keep it kind of like this. I will first adjust this bit because it's not going far down enough. Pastes. Needs to fully cover that eye area. Yeah, there you go, Chris. Yeah, the face is going to be very easy when I'm drawing Chris, though for the comic I am planning to, when the soul takes over, when the soul is in control, because I'm going to be having them fluctuate control a little bit. Like I said, I'm planning to have the soul be a bit more of an actual character rather than just a player that's permanently always like mostly in control. But I do want to sort of fluctuate control back and forth. And when the soul is in control, I actually want the eyes to be visible when the soul is in control. So Chris will have their eyes quote unquote covered and in shade, but when the soul is in control, I will draw the eye, and even though the bangs will still drape over where the eye should be, I'll still have the eye visible. Like kind of like in cartoons where the eye is like visible over the hair a little bit. Same with like eyebrows and stuff. Do I want a nose line? I'll probably want a nose line or something like that. And yeah, I'm going to be going with the colored in upper lip type vibe. I'll probably leave it from being black for now. Just so I can color it in later. It's more just as a point of reference. I'll probably just use color for the colored in lip unless it is black, kind of like with my model. Yeah, I'll probably just do it in flat color rather than fully drawing it out. But yeah, let's decide if I want to. How I want to draw this. Or do I want to? I want to have this kind of. I could just do it only with the bangs and then just do some more extreme sort of shading on the hair in the background, like be brown, and then for these areas, let me just make sure shit's connected. Have the brown hair, and then just for only these areas specifically, sort of at the bottom, have it just be fully black. That could be an idea to sort of go with some more extreme type shading. But yeah, that's pretty much just draw that out. Make that a little less extreme of a corner. But yeah, that's essentially the Chris face slash head. Obviously, you're gonna have the shaded over eyes. That's kind of what I'll be going for with that. While Chris is in control, I'm debating if I still want to have the shade there with the eye visible when the soul's in control. We'll see. But let's get on to the slightly more, not important, but the part of the interpretation that can, the part of the design that can be a little bit more open to interpretation, in my opinion, at least, which is the outfit, because in the game, very pixelated for the most part, and I like the designs for Chris where people go a little bit more out of the norm, like not just go with a typical, with the basic same design that looks like they have in the game. Also, sorry if I've been saying he, I can't remember. Memory sucks. Versus they. Respect the pronouns. I'm debating on whether or not they would tuck the sweater into the pants or not. I don't think they would. They're going to sleep wearing this outfit. I don't think they're gonna be wearing. I think they're gonna be tucking it in when that could be uncomfortable as. Yeah, I'm actually going to be having the bit of, well, it's not black in the game. The sprite is just a very dark brown. I'm going to be having that part actually be a turtleneck. It's that I feel like could be kind of interesting. Is that line a little bit? Yeah, how's that technique that some people use for like I see when they're drawing folds and stuff, they draw with like triangles and stuff like that. I do want to try to work a little bit more on how I draw clothes and how that sort of folds. Something like that, but this is still, like the title says, this is practice for when I eventually do the full thing. Now let's just rink them down a little bit so that I can get the full body appearance in here. Long will the legs look? More around there, probably. Maybe I'd say. Looks kind of right. For body length. Maybe a little bit longer. Maybe somewhere around there. We'll call that work. And then I'm gonna give them like some sort of chunkier boots. Maybe. Or no, I think you would have maybe like they'd probably have like some sort of like sneakers or like flip-on sneakers type thing. If I'm being perfectly honest, I'm not very good at drawing shoes. This will be a challenge. What that line I did to the side there was. I want the pants to drape a little bit further past the shoe. Again, this is just sketching, and yeah, I know that it doesn't look that good. Shoes are mine. This is that, and making eyes that look like they belong to the same person. Oh, sorry. Actually, zoom in on this and do this a bit more properly. So sort of drawing that at the mid of the slant that would. I want the pants to be a little bit too long, so that kind of drapes over the shoe. break that a little bit. So then, if I'm going with sneaker, it doesn't need too big a toe. That's a little bit better. Yeah, that works for what I'm going with for now. Yeah. That works. That already looks leagues better than what I did like 2 minutes ago. Already so much better. I'm gonna make this other shoe actually a bit more front facing, or try to at least. Like something like that. Oh, almost forgot. Still, and then laces. It isn't entirely what I want, so I'm going to adjust with one. Just some full, straight up size increase / adjustment. Something like that. That looks good. I'm just drawing completely random lines here. And I kind of want to have the sweater have that sort of elastic on it around the wrist. Just kind of, I don't really know what to kind of, just because I thought it would be interesting. That's really all. That's really the only reason why I'm doing that. I don't want that color picker. Yeah, I feel like Chris would be the kind of person to walk around with just fists clenched. Not. Maybe I'll actually try to give this a little bit more thought in that. And yeah, I'm already seeing a little bit of adjustment that will be needed. So, whoop. There we go. Some minor adjustment of. And it already looks so much better just by making the legs a little bit longer. Yeah. I can go with that little zipper detail. I can spare a few lines to add those, like stitches, seams. Don't know what they're called. But is it an inseam? Is that what it's called? I don't know. I don't know fashion. And I think I might adjust this one to be. Oops. Wrong button. There we go. A little closer to the body. Still awkward looking posture, but that's kind of what I was going for. Do I want to care about this? Not being too realistic with stripes. Probably not. I want to space them out a little bit better, though. There we go. Spaced out a little bit nicer. Yeah, that's what Chris, well, my idea of Chris is essentially gonna start with. Whoops. Connect this neckline. Yeah. Oops. I'm not trying to get you, I'm trying to get this little patch in the middle. There we go. Good enough. that's essentially the vision for at least the start. I am planning to, with each new day, I am going to give characters different outfits, just because that feels right and adds that layer of thought to everything. Plus, I feel like it'll be fun to do. Like, give new quote-unquote designs for each light world day, because dark world outfits are gonna be the same thing. That probably won't really matter. But yeah, that's probably just gonna be the extent of my Chris design for now. Obviously, it's gonna be a little bit different in different frames, different poses, stuff like that. Just gonna move them off to the side, and now I want to try. I'm gonna try to draw Susie. Susie, along with probably a few of the other Lightner individuals, are going to be a bit difficult for me because I don't have a lot of practice drawing anthropomorphic characters. So this comic is going to be essentially a very big practice for me, as I'll be, not for the first time, I'm pretty sure I've definitely drawn non-humans before, drawn animals and monsters before. But multiple different expressions is not something I have done a lot before. So this will be an interesting experiment. I'm gonna keep Chris on the canvas as sort of this size, just as a body proportions reference. Obviously, some proportions are going to be a little bit different, but just kind of head to feet at the very least proportions. So, Susie, reptilian individual. No, maybe not that big. We'll start with zooming in. What kind of profile do I want to start with? Like side, half, or not side, half, not, I mean, like side 3/4 or front facing. I probably need to be doing them all eventually, so might as well just do one. That feels a little long. That already feels a lot better. I'm actually gonna do this because I want it to be a sort of quarters. I'm gonna start with a somewhat quartered. Not fully side profile. Don't know why the words were just lost on me there. And I kind of like the idea of some teeth always going. Actually, I'm gonna have teeth always showing, but I think I'm just gonna go along the bottom because, like with Chris, I kind of want that colored in top lip. Not that much. That's a little bit better. Not really. Because I think I actually will make it a colored in black top lip because of her purple skin. It's kind of working for me. And snouts are really not easy. Really get the perspective and proportions correct. Which is probably why I think for Susie I might do the cheat technique of covering one eye with hair, which would kind of make sense for the character because of how hair is always covering the eyes, and even in some of the, I'm pretty sure it's actually, let's look up the talk sprites for Susie. It's like, yeah, even in the talk sprites, she has the hair over one eye, but both eyes are just visible, kind of like what I plan to do with when the soul is in control of Chris, is have the eye still visible through the hair. See, I think that might be what I do, is cheat just a little. I'm going to zoom in a little bit more. Enter this. Now, adjust a little bit. I don't want to be too far back. I don't want it to be too small, too far forward. Yeah. Actually, no, she'd definitely have more butch type eyebrows. Yeah, definitely more angular, jagged looking eyebrows. Now for the hair, where I will just pretty much just go fucking crazy. Yep. Just go absolutely crazy and it just works. Do not need to be careful with Uzi's hair at all. Like I definitely picture her a lot of the time with like that full, not like, I think glam rock is the right sort of term for what I'm thinking. Like that full glam rock level of hair volume. It's just all of that just poofing out. Absolutely wild. And I kind of want her hair to be maybe a little bit longer than it is in the game as well. I also do want to make the shoulders a little bit broader. Now what I want to do. See, with Susie in a lot of interpretations, I see her portrayed as big and bulky, and that does work, but in my interpretation is I'm still gonna have her be taller than pretty much fucking everybody that isn't like a full-grown adult. But I also want to have her kind of be not anemic, that's the wrong word, and I don't want to use that word, so I'm using it incorrectly, but definitely unhealthily skinny, because she's eating chalk. I don't think she's getting too much nutrition at home. Personally, my interpretation is that she's essentially gonna be like desperate for food, desperate for some good food that will actually fucking fill her up. Still gonna have her wear baggy clothes, sort of hide that, but they're gonna be very loose, and in some areas and instances you might see that it's like, yeah, there's not much meat on the bones. Very baggy t-shirt. Now I'm gonna give just a whole bunch of these two. Just to kind of show that looseness. Don't know if that's sort of how it comes across, but the shirt is just trying to show that the shirt definitely isn't being stretched out. And that's the sort of vibe. And then of course I like to think that the top is not like a ripped up button up, but kind of more like a cardigan. It's like open face cardigan that's just kind of drapes. That will also kind of show off a little bit more of the skinniness, at least in the arms. I should probably erase some of these. Yeah, this is characters. This is my designs of them like standing up straight. I'm gonna have some slouching going on in the actual comics. Don't you worry, because these be some angsty teenagers. A little bit thicker. A little bit thinner. And yeah, I'm gonna go for the classic three-finger cartoon look for the classic three-finger cartoony look for old Schussmeister, and probably most, if not all, the monster characters as well. And give them all that sort of three-fingered look to further cement the inhuman aspect. Let's try out this look as well for this. Because I kind of did it with Chris's hair, so. And then also this extreme shading. So if we want the extreme shading, that would probably be covered as well. This area here. Yeah, I could see that working. Maybe for at least these two, I could go for the hair being less uniform with like the little different sort of drawn out sections. But with like Ralsei, probably Noel, them, I might have their hair be less sectioned, sort of like this. Probably when I draw, if I choose to go with this kind of look for Chris and Susie, for their hair, I'll probably plan out their hair in those sections, and then just drawing that sort of just wild shape go off, and then fill in the length after, just to add to that sort of chunky kind of look. Yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I'm trying to get. Like, I want to move away from realism and get more chunky. That's kind of the word I was looking for before, is chunky. And of course, Susie's also going to have the boots kind of folded up over, well, pants folded up kind of over the boots type thing, but he's definitely having the full combat boot aesthetic. Got some big old claws on their feet, and they need the room. Also, combat boots are cool. It's what she wants to try to be. Yeah, just some big jeans. Actually, I'm gonna color this differently because I want her to essentially have bought jeans that are like 3 sizes too big, just to add to the bagginess, so that she has to kind of like roll them up at the bottoms here. Like that kind of feeling. Not feeling. It's just character design choice. Why I keep saying feeling and vibe and stuff like that. It's just the vibe I'm getting. This back over here. Very big, very chunky, and maybe adjust this one a little, just slightly smaller. At least just adjust it backwards a little bit. Here's just all a little bit. There we go. And then, of course, you can't forget the grips in the And yeah, this perhaps will give like a little bit of a glimpse of how necessarily large the pants are, giving that ample space between the leg and the actual fabric. Yeah, I figured. It's like there's gonna be a line somewhere that isn't connected. Sorry for that. Kind of the opposite of a flashbang. Where's the line now? Up his shoulder here. I should try to make her lines a little bit more jagged. Like I said, trying to slip away from realism. Step away from realism, not fully leave it behind, but rely on it a little bit. There we go. And yeah, that's kind of the starter idea for Susie that I've got going on. And now I'll adjust the size. To better kind of fit the not really idea, but just the size disparity that I'm going to be going with, essentially. Which, as you can see, is just a little. Position them a little bit better, so still separate. Yeah, large in charge Susie, with little hints that might not be quite as quote unquote large. I'm essentially going to be sort of portraying her as kind of like wiry strong, like thin but still looks like coiled muscle type thing. Like not on the same scale as like that one brother demon from Demon Slayer, not quite that skinny, but in that same direction. But again, with the sort of clothes as they are, it'll be difficult to really tell that. Who do I want to do next? Do I want to do Ralse? Do I want to do Ralse or Noel? I think I'll actually do Noel next. Sort of stick with the Lightners for now. Because Noelle, I do also plan to involve her a little, and also in the story, they're not going to actually do the weird route. It's going to be very heavily, not alluded to, but explained and mentioned and shown, and definitely going to be spending time with Noelle. Excuse me. Remind me to hydrate. But yes, Noelle. Yeah, I'll kind of keep Susie there for just size again, just proportion reference. And one thing that I'm going to be doing with Noelle is something that I'm definitely not the first to do, but it's a design choice that I really like is having her fingers on her hands be, I don't know why I specified on her hands. That's weird. Having her fingers be not necessarily made of hoof, but at least colored black to allude to hoof fingers, because I feel like that's just a really cool design choice. It's like almost like permanent fingerless gloves, which I just think is really fucking cool. It is very much rounder face. I don't want it to be like fully like circular or oval. I still want there to be like a face shape. Might also not go full, like the top lip is like that cartoon dog type style. Zoom in a little bit more. Make this. I might not fully connect it to the nose, but still have that line there as sort of suggestion. Actually, let's get rid of that because she has two big old front teeth, which I do not want to get rid of those because that's adorable. I want to grab it. Yeah, in some instances it might be close to, if not completely connecting, but and yeah, just long, elegant features because deer. It's a little bit far out. Now she's spiked here. The shade. That's off position. Actually might be a good way to reference. And use the nose as a, use the tip of the nose as a, not a connector, but just as a bit where the bottom of that bottom corner of the eye will sort of point to. And then I'm going to use a tool, or I'm probably going to be using a tool for this, but I'm going to have her have white deer freckles. That sort of spottiness, but I'm going to, well, in most cases it's not going to be visible, but if it ever was, I would probably put the freckles sort of like on the shoulders and other parts of the sort of dark top layer of fur. Yeah, I actually might connect these just as the that sort of top layer fur color. What should I put on the eyebrows? Eyebrows might be better. Let's work a little bit on the hair. She's kind of got sort of layered hair look with, because in the talk sprite, and I think a little bit you can see in the actual like moving sprite, is that she has kind of like, at the very least, the baggy bangs that are a lot longer. And then she also has like that sort of second layer where it kind of like, it goes like that and then it also goes out like that. From what I see in the talk sprite. I think these bangs will actually work as a kind of point where the horns and ears can come out of. Yeah, just a couple little hairpins that I can put onto there. Maybe not that luminous. I should do the shoulders first. Oops, wrong button. was certainly the wrong button. Do not want to delete everything all at once. Yeah, she'll have a lot more rounded lines as opposed to Susie. A lot rounder, a lot softer. Just on that one back, her hair is a little bit more straight than that. And get little floppy deer ears. And how realistic do it? I don't want to go too realistic with the horns. Trying to kind of like the Clover of like a hard suit. I think that might be kind of what I want to go for in terms of horn look. Let's do this. Oh, whoops. Sound like cut instead of copy. This is why I prefer digital, because it just makes so many mistakes. And it costs absolutely nothing to fix them. Make all the mistakes you want. Yeah, that's a good look that I think I've got going on, at least in terms of I'd probably give her people some actual fucking darkness. As deers do, in fact, have working pupils. In case you didn't know. Does Noelle have a red nose? Let me quickly look this up. Actually, does look like she has a red nose. Yep, definitely red nose. Okay. So I will not be coloring in the nose black. This, I actually kind of wanted to experiment a little bit with how her sprite looks in the overworld with the checkered sort of vest. I actually kind of wanted to make it like very short, and then have her just have a massively long skirt. I feel like that will kind of flow a little bit with the character vibe, with the sort of floaty kind of vibe that she has at times. Also, because it will make the massive long robe he gets make a little bit more sense. I'll have it fully buttoned up. I know I drew that at a point. Got the that I wanted to do. Just want to put her hands in front of her for this pose. This adds up to be little fingertips. Not fingertips, just both fingers. Entire fingers will be black. And I'll probably just use some clever kind of white shade / erase trick to kind of differentiate between fingers. And then, of course, she will be hoofed, not footed. Do deer hoofs? Deer. I don't want the band. Okay, yeah, deer hooves do have the little section in the middle. Separation. For some reason, this line here doesn't. Okay. Oh no, I think it was actually that line. Never mind. Yeah, I want to make the skirt a pleated skirt. Oops. I'll turn down the opacity just for these specific buttons. Those checkers. And all black. Belt as well. And there we go. Does she have anything on her neck? No, it doesn't look like she has anything on her neck. She does have long black sleeves, so she's also wearing something else underneath. I think I might stick with the white sleeves. Might stick with the regular kind of button-up sleeves. Keep it just as a button-up. What I might do take everything here. Just shift it this way a little bit. That pose felt a little bit off for me. Yeah, I think this would be a good height for her. I want her to be taller than Chris, but not as tall as Susie. So in fact, I might actually make Chris a little bit shorter. Yeah, like I said, I would probably keep her hair to be like this, to be the solid sort of sections rather than the not pleated. Like she has a pleated skirt, but that might be the right term. But for Chris and Susie's hair, those will be sectioned a little bit, kind of like they are in these sketches here. Whereas Noelle's hair will be very much straight, fine, and not gonna be sectioned off like that. Now, do I dare draw Birdley? Because he's gonna be a bit of a difficult one too. Because with Noelle, I can cheat a little bit, make her face as it is in the sketch that I have is not as much of a snout as a deer would have, because that's kind of how she is in the game as well. She's a little bit more close to a humanoid face, a little bit more snub nose. But Susie is full snout and Birdley is full beak. And I also want to maybe do a little bit more with Birdley, because his sprite in the Dark World is very detailed. It's like a whole fucking cyber superhero outfit, but in the overworld, it's pretty lackluster. It's just a shirt. I'm assuming like a shirt and maybe some that he has like a white sort of almost like a baseball jersey or baseball shirt on top with what looks to be like a black shirt underneath. I don't know if the black shirt is also like black shorts as well, or if it's just a long black shirt. But I just feel like I have to give him cargo shorts just because that fits his vibe so much. I'll still probably stick with giving him that sort of baseball type looking tee. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I'll probably still stick with that for him. So let's try out Berkeley. I'm not going to do front-facing Berkeley because front-facing is a cult for people with snouts. For characters with nozzers, it'll probably end up looking like fucking front-facing Phineas from Phineas and Ferb. But I'll give a bit of a side profile for old Birdley. Birdley is going to be short. I'm going to say that right now. I'm going to make him as short, if not shorter than Chris. He's going to have the opposite of short king energy, essentially. And of course, I'll start him at that average height just to make the drawing a little bit easier. His head I might actually keep relatively circular. His head might end up looking like the most cartoony of them all, at least for the majority of the time. His sprites, his mouth is just kind of on his beak. It's like his mouth is on his beak and his mouth isn't his beak unless it's open. And that's just, it gets weird when you think about it from like a biological standpoint. It's like his beak has cheeks in some sprites. I'm gonna give him that kind of like cheek fluff, feathery cheek fluff. I do love that he just has the one eyebrow almost always visible. I'm also uncertain about it. I'm gonna give him green eyes just because in the dark world, he's just, whether or not the visor is on his eyes, they're green. But in the light world, his eyes are white. It's just a little black dot. It's a little hard to discern, but I think I'll stick with him. My sort of, not really sure if it's a headcanon or not, but having him with green eyes. So I also feel like he would be the type of person who would talk about having green eyes a lot. Or just like try to take cool pictures that show off his eyes. As a way to sort of impress people. That's definitely the vibe he gives off. Like, he will do whatever he can. Mm-hmm. He'll get the sloped shoulders too. Big 3 feather fingers. Wing arms, and feather fingers. And like this little weird bird logo thing that he's got on the shirt. I don't know what it is. It's the total of 5 pixels. So I don't entirely know how it's supposed to look, but I'll just give him like his, essentially his own little Twitter logo. Boom. Cargo shorts. I forgot about Susie's. Oh, what the hell? Now it's doing this thing again. There we go. Sometimes my pen will just glitch out and just, for some reason, just act as though it's on max pressure. Don't know why. Shorts with all the pockets to carry his collectible trading cards in. I don't know. I'm not that big of a nerd. So I don't know. They probably wouldn't hold their cards in their fucking pockets. Probably just the fact that I suggested that is gonna put me on a list of some kind. Probably banned from every trading card store. Just ever. Give him a little talons. That head is not big enough. There we go. Alright, short king, time to shrink you down. Perfect. Let's just space everybody back out, because I've still got about an hour left. So I think what I'm going to do is just get down the basic shapes, or not shapes, the basic colors. see what happens if I delete these selected areas. Probably gonna get rid of a lot of the line art, but it's my own fault for clicking them in the first place. I still have a couple places. There we go. And I can just go through and fix up some of these lines. But again, like the name of the document and the name of the stream, this is all practice. So not expecting any of this to be perfect. This is all just planning out what they will hopefully be. Planning out the ideas of what they will be like. So it's gonna be a bit scuffed, but I do not care. There we go, fixed all right. Look. Turtleneck. There we go. So got you up here. Yeah, now I can just go through each of these and give them the sort of colors just to help make the ideas that I have for them kind of stand out a little bit. Let's find any colors. Okay, let's fill in that. All right, for some reason it didn't. Okay. Work with me now, cool, good. I think that works. So, and invert. Now we get out the colors. Bright bluebird. I'm just gonna be getting it down like base colors. Purple. I'll give you the gold, even though it's only on your hair, but whatever. What? God damn it. Missed that. There we go. Right. Invert. I'm just gonna do this. to do that. There. Good. Done. Fine. I'm gonna go a bit darker. There we go. Now it's just get down colors. Doesn't really matter that I'm going out the lines because the brown isn't even going to be the color that the out of the lines is going to be. Now it matters if I go out of the lines or not. Probably gonna adjust the yellow on this, but or maybe not. It might work out. That dark ass green came from, but anyways. Yeah, no, actually the yellow looks fine. Selected the wrong color there. Again, selected the wrong color. Mm-hmm. I think that looks fine. I like that color actually. I want to do. There we go. I make sure we're following the proper rules of melanin. That actually sounds weird. I'm just gonna say following the proper rules of skin tone and complexion. We're just gonna take back that statement that I just gave. Wrong layer. Yeah, there's starting. Wait. Almost forgot the shoes. Shall be quote unquote black. By quote unquote, I mean I will, in the actual thing, draw it. Just get a color as close to black as I can without getting actually that dark. And why did that join with the brown? I don't know. On to use these colors. Should be having a similar shoe color situation. Words. Shoe color situation. On a shish. Actually, no. Just get going into blue jeans. I'm getting harassed by this fly right now. They have not been leaving me alone for days. Oh, well, I'm just minding my business. Watching, just sitting here doing nothing. And at least it isn't mosquitoes, but still. Annoying as hell. Love the paint bucket tool to keep over these kinds of little bits where I don't want to just send my pen all across the screen over and over again to scribble things in. I'm actually gonna make her shirt an off-white. Just because I doubt this motherfucker's clean. It's not 100% clean. I don't think the brown is dark enough. What the balloon? I'm gonna make Chris's hair a little gray because I just feel like they're going through it, so there's a little bit of stress there. Not gonna be 100%. This should maybe be more gold. Eye, so that it kind of matches with the teeth. Then what I'm gonna do is because I also want Susie to have those freckles, because I think she has freckles. And some of her talk sprites you can see freckles, so I want her to have those as well. Where's the effect that I... Would this work? Definitely not that size. Not really. It was an interesting idea, but that's not what I think will work. think it might be the glitter effect that I want. Just gonna multiply a layer real quick just to. If I just hold it down, it works. I don't want the light parts. I think maybe I just need a darker. Yeah, that works. I need to adjust some parts, see if I can try to work on making them a little bit less dense. Which I actually don't know if I can. Actually can? Yeah, no, I can't make it any less dense, so I might just just hit that opacity down in the slider for that for now though. Just probably on to Noel. I need brown for. Oh, god damn it. Her hair. It's fine. I have that one out of all the lines was the one that got disconnected. Happened here. Wait, whoops. Wrong layer again. There we go. I don't know what happened with that line there. Anyways. And this flag, leave me the hell alone. those lines that got messed up. I put them on the multiply layer again. God damn it. It's fine, it's whatever. I'll just ignore it. This is again just a rough draft. And I will do my best to remember not to fuck up with layers, and also we'll have much cleaner lines and not use half opacity, whatever the fuck, for some of this. Half opacity black fill bucket on the line art layer. That's what I will not do. I'll just roughly put in all these. I think it might be those off lines are probably what happened when I selected and then adjusted her posture. What's wrong with? It's a little off in places, but once more, rough draft. Maybe the next stream. Maybe the next stream, if I decide on whether or not I want to continue doing more character practice or not, or if I just want to get right on into the comic. I don't know where my train of thought was going, if I'm being honest. Completely forgotten. She forgot to make her teeth white. And then I forgot it's multiply. How does I turn it off multiply? Yeah. I'm definitely gonna need to do multiply in actual fucking hell. This fly. Maybe I'll use like bigger splotches for Susie and then have these tiny ones for Noelle. So maybe just and then hold. Yep, there we go. Just to double check her sprite. Yeah, it is vest. It is not. It's not any sort of button-up type thing. And now, lastly, the bird. And this fly, fuck off. My god. I don't know why it keeps coming around here when I have nothing for it. I don't even have any food around. Why have my water? And flies are not the best known creatures for eating healthy. So I don't know what the hell it wants. Also, like how I said a while ago, I love to use the fill tool so that I don't have to do the thing that I'm doing right now. Sometimes the brain don't work all that. Sometimes we catch ourselves doing something, but we don't stop because we've already started, so why trouble ourselves like that? We've already started, so why stop? And I think that's the last of the yellow. It's just darker blue, the eyebrows. And cargo shorts. That's maybe just the regular one. Yeah. And there we go. Quartet of main character Lightners. In the rough idea of how I will be drawing them for my comic. Obviously, I'm going to be adjusting some details, like Noelle's sweater vest top thing. I'm gonna make it a little less checkered, make the checkers a little bit bigger. Just looking at the right art, there's like 6 of them total, 6 squares total. Obviously, going to be adding a little bit more detail to some places, like a little bit more detail to the skirt, actually make it a bit more look 3D, more pleated. Different clotheslines. I'd added a lot to Chris and Susie's clothes just because the bagginess is kind of what makes them, because they're, I don't want to say sloppy, but are the most well dressed and don't seem to entirely care about the appearance that much. So that was kind of important for them. But I will put actual detail lines on the other characters' clothes as well. But for the most part, this is pretty much what they will be looking like, with give or take a few details here and there. I might try to maybe give Noelle a little bit more jewelry or something. Might give Birdley some accessories like a watch, or maybe I might give him a necklace as well. Susie, her outfit is pretty much fine because she doesn't seem like the type of person to have accessories, to own accessories, let alone wear them. And Chris, like I said, he sleeps in this, so I'm pretty sure they're not going to be wearing necklaces or bracelets to bed, so they will be sticking with that pretty much. Obviously, there's going to be more shading, like bits of highlights and shading in different places, like the hair and the eyes and stuff like that, but all that will happen in the actual comic proper and not this. This is just that a few times. I would say I don't like to repeat myself, but I have been repeating myself, so I don't want to be too hypocritical. Or not hypocritical, but I don't know the word, so I'm just going to say I'm not going to do that. But this is rough draft practice, so not taking it too seriously, just sketching out the designs that I'm going to be working with. And for the most part, they're pretty faithful to the game, but I do want to branch a little bit away, kind of like what I'm doing with Noelle's sort of outfit, how it's like the high-waisted skirt, that high-waisted very long skirt, and her sort of differentiating fur color, which I've seen plenty of other people do. I'm not saying I'm original in that, as well as giving Birdley cargo shorts because it just so seems like the thing he would wear. just to have like a number of little bits and bobs and trinkets, and I'm not gonna say trading cards again, because just putting trading cards in any pants pocket seems like a bad idea. But yeah, this is just practice for what I will be spending a lot more time on in the actual comic. Like, this was just a quick 3-hour thing. 3 hours to draw 3 different characters, or 4 different characters. So, and I didn't even spend all the 3 hours, because I'm looking at the stream timer, and the first 15, actually no, more than 15. First 15 minutes was the starting soon screen. Then like the next 10-15 minutes was spent just talking at you guys. So more like 2 hours and 20 odd minutes just on 4 characters. So I will be spending plenty of more time doing a lot more rough drafting, more underlined sketch stuff, be replaced by actual clean line art, things like that. And also the comics will have frames, text boxes, stuff like that. But still, I won't say glad to be back just yet, but I'm glad that I was able to get back. And I'm just gonna hope that I can use Deltarune and Epic in a way to sort of get myself off my ass and do this stuff that I know I enjoy. I enjoy drawing. I enjoy creating fan content. It's just, as mentioned before, mental state doesn't always allow for that. I'm gonna hope that I can use these things that I'm very passionate about and love very much to help me work on these things and get back into the rhythm and habit and routine of streaming again. But in the meantime, we'll be signing off now. I'm a little bit early than what I usually plan to do, but for 15 minutes, I don't really know what I would be doing. And again, this is as much as those drawings I just did were rough drafts and warm-ups, this stream too is also a warm-up. So I will be signing off now. Thank you for watching. I will be seeing you next time.